this for a second so I can share it. All right, there we go. We're live. So let's go see what's up with this mess. I've got my sign. I don't think anybody will miss me. I mean, I'm sure they missed me. But they won't miss the sign. Or we can't be missed. Whatever I'm trying to say. And share, and everybody else who might be watching, I'm gonna start creating the sign for the back of this tonight, later. If everything's cool here, then I'll bring up the materials for people to make signs. But I don't want to bring everything up if this is going to be a giant fiasco. So I'm just checking out the scene, you know. Excuse me. All right, I think I can go. No, actually, I better wait. This thing is heavy. Like, instantly hurts my wrists. All right, here we go. Get across the street now. We're on Louisiana. They still have a lot of these streets blocked off. Shitty thing about this camera is I cannot comment on the video without pausing it. But here we are. Go up the steps up to Upper Senate Park. This whole situation has turned into such a fiasco. We'll march tomorrow as well, but I'm hoping today will bring everybody together, get everybody out of their Facebook hate mode. Stop the war on parents. We have to end family court and CPS. That is Tony Knightley's voice. If you don't know Tony Knightley, he a little bit older guy. He's been doing this for a long time. Whew, I'm already out of breath. He knew Nancy Schaefer personally. And infighting that's happening now is combined with Nancy's death kind of ended the family law reform movement at that time.
Number 4, will you support federal legislation that killing the family model on the Georgia legislation championed by the late Nancy Schaefer, SB 14, whose purpose is to prevent
I'm good, how are you?
services from
Nice to meet you.
inserting themselves into the private lives of American families, preventing them from taking the children where it is not the best interest of the child and to reduce child trafficking. Yes or no? Are you aware of the Parental Suicide Act and that an average of 22 men per day commit suicide due to non-unification with their families, which has increased from 19 in 2010 to 22 vets a day commit suicide per night?
I guess we're going over here. Somebody called my name.
What's that? Well, what I'm mentioning here are things that go through family court.
check this out over here. There's a ton of parking over here. Why didn't I park over here? Oh, because it's blocked off. I couldn't figure out why nobody was parked over here. They have the street blocked off. Nice to see you. Have you spoke at all? No. No? What do you think? How is it looking? Go like this.
Yeah, I need water, man.
Here, you can have this one. Just pull on the cord.
I never would feel like it.
Yeah, I gotta stay out of the sun. I don't know where Kathleen is.
Many states have debtors' prisons charging $40 or more per day to an inmate in addition to child support.
Yeah, keep it, man.
Repeal of amendment of the Bradley Amendment. Football player.
I don't understand why they have that whole road blocked off. Is it? It can't be for us.
42 USC, which currently requires state courts to prohibit retroactive.
See what happened with that guy that got
Even in the case of fraud. Yes or no?
Which guy?
Would you support sanctions of the elimination of federal funding for the states that fail to make measures to eliminate Miss Andrews' bias from the family court system and impose sanctions on judges who will continue to exhibit Miss Andrews' bias? What that is the prejudice against
What's up, bro?
No ugly people allowed it.
What?
No ugly people.
Oh, okay.
men do not
doing,
have
buddy?
That's fine.
when it comes to like violence against women act. There is no violence against men down.
Yeah, dude.
Now,
Why did they block off that street over there? There's nobody. There's all this parking right there, and nobody can park on it.
detail with Captain, but
You might do something.
use it as an
I
example.
don't know. It took us forever to get around.
Are you familiar? Are you aware of the
Yeah.
obviously ombudsman?
Yeah, I found a space. I want to. Hi, Ted Fogg. Nice to meet you.
Wait, Matt, I was just
Very vaguely, but actually, I remember you from the Nancy Schaefer rally.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Hi. Hi, Lisa. I'm Ted. I'm good. Oh yeah, we're live on Facebook. Everybody can see us. So I see the people who are missing. I know who is missing, absolutely. Unfortunately, I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. But
And then, who's
great.
Is that Joyce with the white? Gotcha.
So what's the plan? What's the schedule as of now? Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I'm glad I caught your live feed late. Because I would have never have known that y'all were way down there and that I was part of that and didn't know what it was.
Oh really? Oh wow. Yeah, we the Mother of All rallies, and then did you catch the part with the ICP, the Insane Clown Posse's event? That's interesting, isn't it?
We kind of got in there by accident.
Yeah.
Can I put the dough? Yes, you can say hi to Bella Bella.
To me, if people are poverty should not be based off the amount of money. It's based off of our ethics and our morals.
Well, let's go say hi to Kinter. I'm gonna go say hi to Brian Kinter. What was your name again? Barbara. Barbara Evans.
I kept getting really enjoyed the one with Randy Davis.
Oh, Wheel of Herpa and all of that? Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. Nobody does. It's the same thing as jury nullification. We're not aware of this. People don't tell us this. So,
The best thing that could ever have happened to families is social media.
yes.
Somebody together.
Hi,
Do you agree with the courts need
I'm
supervised
Ted.
supervision to protect the best interests of the whole family
Nice to meet you.
and manage our social
doing okay
security
today?
more effectively?
Here,
Yeah.
Here, is that better?
So
I can take my
solution
sunglasses
with
off,
this
too.
bill, if I can get people behind it,
We didn't.
we do this. We give a jury
No, we
trial
took the
option in
Metro
any
over
instance
from
where a parent
Arlington.
feels
Oh,
necessary.
smart.
Boom.
Very
One
smart.
thing
Well, I heard
resolve
that
all the steps I just mentioned.
Black Lives Matter was going to be, and then the Nativa people.
Audio
Latifah. I call him Latifah. I can't
Never heard
remember
of
it.
it before 2 months ago. So
I don't know about you
we
guys.
took a hotel
If
in
I want to go to the hospital online, look up a medical record, I can go log into a court hall. If we go to a family court,
I'm Barbara.
we
Nice to
are
meet you.
basically
And you are
a customer
Tabitha.
of that court.
Pleasure to meet
We
you.
should be allowed
Oh, yeah, you're
to get in there and
Who's your
study
dog,
our case
Tabitha?
file and
That's
issues
Bella.
of any audio and video recording.
Well, thanks for coming.
We started this.
Judiciary, with financial kickbacks and conflicts of interest shall be removed from their position of power or abolish those interests draining the SSA. The Social Security is being drained, and they don't know why, they don't have enough money, they're battling back and forth on how
That's amazing.
to fix that, Obamacare was junk, whatever. But the thing is, they can't keep people from stealing the money. Gotta fix that. Hold the judiciary accountable for constitutional violations with hefty fines and imprisonment. If they mess up, they go to jail.
Yes.
The exploitation.
You're
It's
absolutely right.
exploitation of the
So,
children,
and now if you want to
the
give
elderly,
credit, it
and
was
the
updated
handicapped.
from
Always
Cheryl
the
and
first
Don
thing
Leonard,
you take
who
out
I
of social engineering.
So now
love very much,
to learning laws
and
and hidden
also
stuff to
Nancy
protect
Schaefer, and a lot has gone into a lot of the
Still takes friend requests
that
from
I've
whoever,
worked for.
if you ever have
George
issues.
McDermott here is one of them.
Which state are you out of?
I appreciate the time.
Under arrest, sir.
Okay.
If anybody would like a copy of this, maybe, or
How are you?
Joe Gormley, everybody.
Hi, nice to meet you.
please
How you doing, Joe Gorman, everybody?
Nancy Schaefer. Ryan, happy New Year. I love you too. I love you more. Well, say hi to Facebook Live. 360.
Hi,
Live book.
Facebook. Live book, Facebook.
Live book face. Live face.
That's quite a contraption, sir. That's new, huh?
Yeah, that's the verb. Everybody's watching us live on the verb, the Garmin verb 360. Joe was at the Nancy Schaefer rally, and we stayed with Monica Giglio at her house in
Right there.
Right there, I caught it. Yeah. I need to go see her.
Go see Monica.
Let's go say hi to Monica. Why not? Hi, Monica.
Hi. I need to see Miss Monica. I am.
Hi.
Noel.
Hi, Noel.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you too.
Thank you. It's the sign I held up for you.
Yes.
Remember that sign?
Yep. Monica held this while I spoke at the Nancy Schaefer rally. So what do you guys think so far? Yeah,
Just
me
pulled
too.
in, yeah. Trying to figure out, can you get cars in over there?
Well, I initially walked from there, because I'm parked down there, all the way up to see why all these parking spaces are open. But they have the road blocked. Which sucks.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do, is park as close as I could right here, because I've got stuff people can make signs with.
You should just see if you can get like that 10-15 minute leeway tomorrow just to unload. Otherwise, we're going to need something to push everything in on. I wish I thought about that. It's the perfect thing too.
Well, we'll buy it. Let's go buy one.
Let's just be sending money. It's all right.
Those credit cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you been in contact with the people who obviously aren't here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I heard something about they're meeting up at the Lincoln Memorial at the moment.
oh, I didn't know. Don't
No,
know.
I don't think we've been. He said, "Are we been in contact with them?" We really haven't.
No.
Oh.
You know anything?
Well, I'm just in contact with them for tomorrow.
Yeah, they refuse, I don't have to, we're live, so we don't have to mention any names, but the people who aren't
You're live
here,
on Facebook right now? Yeah.
the people who aren't here for a reason.
Well, let's not even talk about it then. Let's talk about what we got. What?
Yeah.
We're talking
You
about
keep-
double the people we could have right now.
Well, let's talk about what's going on here. What's going on?
Well,
Is this
Tony,
Constitution Group or what's this?
Well, no, this is Constitution Day, which originally was MAPA's event. But even that, whole end of it, isn't 100% represented because of everything. There's Robert Slavin. Get him over here. Well, it's good no matter what is going on. It's a good event.
Cool. How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
Hey,
I'm
what's your
Ted.
name? Huh?
Ted Fogg.
Oh, Ted Fogg. Nice to meet you. Mike McDonald.
What's Mike McDonald?
Michael McDonald, yeah. Friends on Facebook.
Cool.
Hey, Mike, Joe Gorman.
Let me wait. I know I've been on your stuff before, so. But yeah, we're about at Vegas, so we're working on family law reform out there. Meeting with our senators. We've implemented a court observing program. We passed. We got a law called the AB 263 passed, which is joint is the preference, but it's not standard. So we're going to be amending that in the next legislation. So, are you guys meeting with the senators out here?
I am going to try to head back after the march tomorrow to get some footage of this on
You have a radio show.
a couple different shows, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been on your show, have I?
You haven't been on it. I don't know if you've watched it or not.
I think I've watched it.
You gotta be on. You gotta play wheels.
Well, I probably have one of the craziest stories of everybody too, man. My attorney shot himself right before trial. I see my kids every weekend. I went to trial. I'm like, I don't know where my attorney's at. Let's push this off. And the judge was a pregnant female judge. Looked like my ex. So I go to court. She granted my attorney wasn't present, and they pushed off the trial, but saw a TPO hearing off a tracking device. I work at a tracking device company. I'm an IT manager there. And my ex goes in, I'm afraid for my life. And gets a TPO extended for a year. Anyway, I get contradictory orders on the divorce decree saying I can have a reasonable phone conversation with kids. She then uses that to get me thrown in jail for 6 months. While I was in jail, she broke in my house, stole a bunch of stuff. She was in the house for 2 years, and I had a refi approved. She sold the house $40K under market value. I lost $150,000. I haven't seen my kids since Christmas. I just got out of jail in June.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's complete.
That's why we haven't heard much.
And my ex also, her boyfriend's was convicted for 9 felony charges for lewdness of minor and sexual assault too.
And this is just
And my daughter's having rectal prolapses. Like, yeah.
This is all family court, Title 4D, no CPS involvement.
There wasn't any CPS involved until I found out about during that 90 days to see my kids. My daughter was having rectal prolapses where she almost had to have surgery. It's like, who's watching me? They sitting them alone. And then my daughter tells my sister-in-law, is there a touching where she comes to and then I called CPS and Metro, so I called them, and I didn't want to do that, you know what I mean, but I'm very concerned with all these, circumstantial evidence. So I bring that up. They try to say that it's unsubstantiated. I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, this guy couldn't give me the guy's record. I ended up going to court after I filed a motion for primary, and the judge gave me supervised visits. So I had to watch my kids for $40 for 2 hours on weekends for 1 month. And then the next month she went and started filing all these things. Told me to go to her parents' house, made me go there, pick up the kids. Said she wasn't there. I show up, she's there. Called the cops on me.
Oh my God.
And the cops, I get my daughter and I leave my daughter, and she wouldn't give me my son. The cops say, you violated protective order, and she said you pushed her. I got convicted of 2 violations of protective order and domestic violence battery. I didn't even touch her. So 6 months in jail, I'm on a freaking ankle bracelet.
Are you right now? Look at that.
Yeah.
You guys remember Dominic Tomatillo?
Yeah, didn't he kill himself?
He did.
Is he go through all this shit?
Yeah, ankle bracelet. How did you get away with an ankle bracelet on?
GPS monitoring only.
So
I got it clear.
You got a clearance.
I went to the court. I was like, can we get this off? I haven't made any threats. I've never touched her. Like another
Well, they get
female
funding
bystander.
from.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had to pay $1,000 for this too.
Wow.
So crazy, man. I lost my house. I had a 4-bedroom with a pool for $500 a month in Las Vegas.
$500 a month?
Yeah,
That's pretty cheap, man.
4-bedroom and a pool?
yeah,
$500 a month?
yeah. I got a bar in the market. I'm doing real estate stuff.
Well,
Dude, yeah. Now I lost my house. I lost $150 grand. I haven't seen my kids since Christmas. I filed a motion to reinstate custody, and the judge flat out denied me and pushed off the hearing. I'm like, I haven't seen my kids in 9 months, you know. And I even got an attorney that's the next judge.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, you're getting. So anyway, long story.
Hey, TJ.
But here, I'm gonna.
TJ Moonen, everybody, of what's your show called?
Practicing love.
Practicing Love.
So hey, for the rest of my life, I'm gonna devote my
Thank you.
to helping get these laws reformed.
Reforming Family Court.
Yeah.
So we're live on Facebook, just so you guys know if you can catch that.
Yeah, so we're doing whatever we can to help get these laws reformed. We either get it on the ballot or get it co-sponsored. We're working on co-sponsorship right now.
Okay.
So it's going to go to pass in Missouri. We're going after child support. We're setting a flat amount. There's so many issues that need to be
Flat fee is one major thing. With, my idea of having a contract that settles these things when you get married, having a civil contract.
Well, there's a thing
That part is key.
Yeah.
Child support needs to be a flat rate, just like they have in Sweden. It's not.
You get any contract. You should be free to get whatever kind of contract you want. You want to do a contract with another person? Go on a contract. If that contract is to you because of your religious beliefs, say marriage, you go into another contract rate because the Constitution says that the government should enforce contracts. Not make up contracts that don't exist.
Right. We
Not,
went
not
from
make me sign a license that says I'm in contract with the state, not with my spouse.
Exactly. This contract would protect the child from both parents during a separation and the state.
Well, just as long as we got to start enforcing contracts as in the
Right.
Constitution, but we don't do it because we have judges that have said, you don't have to do it here, you don't have to do it there, here's an exception there.
Yeah, civil contract needs to be upheld.
they should take it out of the family court system. Before it was a panel, like they'd split assets and property. Now they made an adversarial process going through the legal system. I don't know if that's ever going to change, but that alone.
They went from an unconstitutional action for divorce to.
Getting rid of the family.
I would say, yeah, it needs to be out of the court system.
Can I quote you on this?
I stood 20,000 attorneys. One of them shot himself, the other guy
Hello?
didn't show up.
How much?
20,000. And her attorney,
Hello.
my ex-attorney got awarded 25,000.
Hello.
So I could have put both my kids to college.
All right, call me back.
I put
200 now?
Who is this?
how much?
200?
Oh, hey, Don.
I'm hearing my child for the last.
Where are you at?
Wow. The last 10 years?
How much is that a year?
What was it, domestic violence?
We're in Upper Senate Park. You're behind the Capitol building.
You know,
Yeah, you need to, if you're facing the Capitol, well, behind, are you sure you're behind and not in front? You're in front of,
Attorneys will throw whatever they can just to see it sticks.
if you're on the Capitol lawn, facing the Capitol, you want to walk to your left.
There's no abuse, there's no, and she said, and she admitted in court. And she admitted to a judge once again. There was no judge before. She helped me become a teacher. And she wrote in her journal, I wrote, read it, and I brought that to court too.
Who's with you? Give the phone to somebody.
Anyway, well, so yeah, no, we need to get this out of the court system and then actually just make a panel or something, split property, split it equal. There's no equal division now. I mean,
The connection is really bad. I can't understand you, Don. You want to go? You're in front of the pond. Okay, then if you're facing the Capitol building, you need to walk to your left. Yeah. Well, we're in Upper Senate Park, which is to the left of the Capitol, if you're in front of the pond. Correct. If you see a wall, you're in Lower Senate Park. Right across the street. Yeah.
my mom did the same. See, when I was 5, I was in
Here, I'll put my sign up.
my son.
Ah.
Now what?
Absolutely not. No. We're across the street from the Capitol to the left of where you are. Okay? You need to go up, walk up to the Capitol, and take a left across Constitution, and that is Upper Senate Park. Upper Senate Park. So just tap into your phone, Upper Senate Park, and it'll bring you there. Okay?
Appointed itself as parentia pyra. They put themselves in a position to protect my children, and yet they failed miserably. I think that's the story predominantly with so many folks down here. We go to the court looking for a remedy or relief, only to discover that the only thing that we're going to be relieved of is our finances, our liberties, our children, and our right to be able to speak. Whereas on that day, on March 27th, and I want everybody to get a picture of this if you can, I had Judge Weisinger served by the U.S. Marshals. As soon as she was served, whereas I had asked the federal government for an injunctive relief to prohibit her from violating my God-given constitutionally protected unalienable rights. She issued a gag order on me, and then she sealed the record. So I went to my Attorney General for the state of Ohio, one Mike DeWine, and I said, Mike, we have a problem. It appears evident that I walked into this courtroom, the judge raped me, she sodomized me, then she takes, not literally, but figuratively, then she tells everybody else, Mr. Kinter, keep your mouth shut, don't tell nobody that I committed the crime, and I'm going to conceal the evidence because I'm going to seal the record. I'm saying, where else but in the judiciary do they have that much power to violate your rights when, as I'm accusing you of a crime, and yet you get to make the decision whether or not you have committed the crime? Now, when we took that case and we went on into the federal court, first court was that they tried to deny it. And they took and they kicked it down, and they were saying, no, this can't be argued because of the Rooker-Feldman doctrine. Rooker-Feldman doesn't apply. I tell everybody what you need to do is everybody needs to be filing these suits. We've got 784 federal judges across the nation. We got 57,216 state court judges. So we're sitting there and we're saying, what's wrong with this picture? Here's what's happening. We have Title IV funding that's funding this monster that continually feeds the state, and then the Supreme Court wants to come back and say child custody cases are state court issues. Well, if they're state court issues, explain to me why we have a federally incentivized program to give the states more money to break down the family unit. I'm not sure about anybody else here, but I think everybody else here is out here because of their children, their grandchildren, their aunts, or nieces, their nephews, their loved ones, somewhere along that road. And I'm saying, just as it was for Martin Luther King, it's a long journey from the time that we embark upon that to be able to proclaim what is God-given, protected to us. These are our rights. But we sit by and we watch these infractions believing that, oh, this only happened to Mr. Fogg. Oh, this only happened to Joe Sweeney. Oh, but if you look at the totality of the evidence, and that's what I tell people, it doesn't matter. Our case is getting ready to go to the World Court because we're saying that this is genocide. These are crimes against humanity, okay? This ain't about a race issue, a gender issue, any of that nonsense. This is about a good versus evil issue. We need to be able to stand up collectively and saying that no more. We don't want to go to war. We're not sitting here coming in opposition with, machetes and ropes and all that nonsense. We're coming with people that are well educated and well armed because of the education that they have, to be able to expose your mundane ignorance that you've been feeding to the American people. You've been telling these lies for far too long and wanting everybody to believe that this is for the best of the children. I don't know about anybody else out here, but there was never anything good that the court did for the best interest of my children. But all along the way, the court continually tried to paint a picture. Whereas in 2013, after I had the judge serve, this very same judge, we go back into the court. My case is pending before the Supreme Court. I respectfully request that the judge would step down. I said, Your Honor, you can't possibly render a decision favorable to me without jeopardizing your standing in the federal matters. Mr. Kinter, I have been to Maureen O'Connor, the Supreme Court Justice, and she says that I am fair and impartial. I said, Your Honor, simply because you have another colleague that is as naive and ignorant as you, you're not above the law. I'm going to hold you accountable for the atrocities in which you've committed. You violated my children. You tore my children apart. My little girl, on October 28, 2007, was taken to 3 different hospitals, subjected to oral, anal, and vaginal examinations by 42 different people. I don't know about anybody else, but I find that to be horrific. I find that to be traumatizing. I find that to be child abuse. And I believe that when the state has taken the position to override my authority, which I don't believe that they can, and I have proven that, now that we have proclaimed the victory and I have my children back, you do not take what God gave me and claim it for your own so that you can extort the federal government to give more incentives for the state. All of this stuff, we have to be able to remain diligent to the cause, because it's going to come at a huge price. It has for each and every single one of us that are here. It's come at such a huge, huge price. But the price is far greater if we do not take a stand against the tyranny and the oppression in which they want to press us down under. And I believe that when Martin Luther King said that he had a dream, I think everyone else here has that same dream, or maybe a different version. But the dream is that I have the right for the pursuit of happiness. I have the right to be able to raise my children the way that I see fit. I have the right to be able to love my children, nurture my children, discipline my children how I, the parent, deem appropriate. I believe that we have taken something that once was designed and predicated on a precept for a good thing. They have perverted it, they have twisted it, and they have made it into something vicious and vile. And I fear that if we do not take this stand and we put aside all of our indifferences, that we're going to lose this war. We must unite to win the fight. It takes all of us. All of us. It doesn't matter what background you come from, because we're all up against the same tyranny. So I'm asking, I'm praying. Last night I had the good fortune of being able to walk around Washington, D.C. and just pray that the Lord would open doors, that the Lord would be able to shine kindly upon his people. But the word's clear and says that when my nation falls upon its knees, and that we cry out to God. I think every day, if we all want to be honest, we have those moments where we all fall upon our knees. Perhaps not in a literal sense, but in a figurative sense, because I find myself driving down the highway and saying, God, give me mercy. Give me grace. Give me the capacity and the words to say to properly articulate the plight of your people. It is the time. It is a great day for freedom. Let us usher in that day for freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. He really has a way of speaking. He's very gifted in that area. And Brian's one of those people that when when you talk to him in person, he gives you so much